good morning to the Sunday Betfair Edge, a special edition, a Royal Ascot edition of the Betfair Edge here on your Sunday morning, right around the country on SEN Track. Wherever you're listening, love to hear from you. Miles Pfitzner with you for the Betfair Royal Ascot edition. Which Aussie will be crowned King of Ascot? We're about to find out. Lay or back them on Betfair. Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858. Well, we've got rid of Luke White. We no longer need him because Devonport Racing. Tommy Haylock, he's no longer joining us. He's down in Tasmania swatting himself at the Mona. David Taggart's no longer coming. But when we have a Royal Ascot edition, who better to get than the superstar of international form, our UK expert from Betfair himself, Rory Flanagan. Good morning to you, Rory.
Good morning, Miles. Thanks for having me on.
More than happy to have you in, mate. Look, the whole edition here, we're going to concentrate on Royal Ascot, and with a real Aussie flavour at the moment, isn't it? With three horses have headed over, and we expect to see them with a bold showing, really, across the Royal Ascot Carnival.
Yeah, it's nice to see some Aussie representation back on the world stage after relatively quiet few years. I think from 2003 to about 2012, we absolutely demolished the joint at Ascot with the Australian Raiders. So here's to returning to those times.
Are you expecting that again? We're going to deep dive into the races separately, but are you expecting? We've got three horses over there. Out of the three, can we jag two winners?
I'm actually quite confident of at least one. I think Nature Strip's got a massive chance, and Artorius and Home Affairs are quite good in their own right, so they've got a wide chance in an open field.
Big show coming up. Throughout the breaks, we're going to discuss all the majors. King's Stand, of course, Platinum Jubilee, the Queen Anne and whatnot. But joining us very shortly, if not even pretty close, is Brad Taylor, the racing manager for Freeman Racing. Love chatting to Brad, his insight. But I've got a disclaimer here because I've got myself into a little bit of strife a while ago and a bit of heat, Rory, because I mentioned a long time ago that Artorius, I thought, at their peaks, had more ability than Animo. I still believe that if he stepped in a couple of those races, he would have got the chocolates. And look, hopefully Brad is going to give me a little bit more on that because I was his biggest supporter, Artorius. He joins us on the line. Good morning to you, Brad.
Hey, boys. How are we?
Good, mate. Good. Now, Brad, I've got myself in some hot water. I've been Artorius' biggest supporter. The public have come for me because they all loved Animo. Now, can you just, for the listeners out there, this horse, people have questioned why the horse has jumped on the plane, why it's gone over there, but this horse has ability that we really haven't seen. He just does a few things wrong, doesn't he?
Yeah, when any horse sort of misses the kick like he does and gets back to last basically every time, it does cause a bit of a few issues. But he is a horse with serious ability when everything goes right. And, if it was to click at Royal Ascot next Saturday, then, he's going to give them an almighty shake. So, no, we're really happy with him. He's travelled over extremely well, and he had a good look at Ascot, yesterday afternoon our time and Friday morning, Friday morning their time, so overnight. And he galloped really well with race day rider Jamie Spencer on. So, we're really happy with him.
Before I hand you over to Rory for some questions in regards to the race, mate, can you just tell us the process of first deciding for him to go and then actually getting him there?
It was we had a bit of a discussion about it. Sam actually brought up the idea really early at the start of this prep. Obviously, Sam spent a lot of time over there when he worked for Roger Varian. So knows Ascot really well and just said, the straight course could really suit it. You sort of got to run a really strong 1200 to get it, and that he does. He's been out and ran third in a Caulfield Guinea. So
after missing the kick by 3.
Yes, exactly. It was sort of just floated around for a start, and then basically leading into the new. We said if he ran well, we might put him aside and take him. And obviously he ran well without winning. And so the boys had a bit of a chat with Henry and decided that we'll have a throw at the stumps and send them over. the owners, well, especially the owners that were in him originally through us, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity probably to take a horse to Royal Ascot. They're all sort of five. I think the biggest owner had 10% in him, or 12.5%, I think. So, and he owns a lot of horses throughout Australia with many different. So yeah, it was just a once in a lifetime opportunity for them to head over there. There's 70 owners going to be at Royal Ascot next Saturday for him, so I'm sure they'll have a hell of a time and really enjoy it.
So when did it come about to book Jamie Spencer for the ride? Because he's famous for his patience and riding horses at the back of the field. So when did that first come into your mind of booking him?
Well, Mark Zara sort of had first option. He's gone over there this week and didn't trust himself on day 5 to not have a big week and ride the horse. So his best mates, one of his best mates is Jamie Spencer, and he sort of suggested him, and we always sort of mentioned him. It's hard to get a William Buick or James Doyle or one of those, or Ryan Moore, the Cornwall horses, and Godolphin would have horses. So we, as you say, he's a good patient rider, strong, which he needs, and knows those tracks so well. So we were really happy to book Jamie for the race.
And in terms of another horse you had in Santa Ana Lane, what sort of similarities do you see with him, and would you have ever brought him over to Ascot?
Santa was seriously contemplated going, but it was sort of first or second year of the Everest, so we decided just to keep him here for the Everest. Obviously, he was a gelding, and Artorius is a colt, so if he was able to win over there, he's got probably a dual hemisphere stud career, whereas Santa was a gelding. It was seriously contemplated. He was vaccinated and everything for the race, but we just took that last approach to keep him here and run him in the Everest, and then we instead went to Hong Kong, which we just didn't get the race run to suit there. They're different horses, but same horses. They've got a great attitude. They're easy to deal with. Obviously, gelding and a colt. Artorius, I could give him to my 2-year-old kid, and she could lead him round. He was so quiet and got such a great attitude. As Sam said in the media this week, he's just about hard to stimulate because he's so laid back. So we thought, the plane trip over there, new environment, might just stimulate him, and it seemed to do that. You stayed a really good look at Ascot, and it was really beneficial. So they're sort of same but different, really. And that's the colt versus gelding situation was probably the reason why we stayed here with Santa rather than went.
I filled my boots with Santa Ana Lane in the Goodwood here, I think, at Morfettville when he sort of weaved through and rolled them. Brad, just a little bit more on Artorius because I'm doing my best to justify my position here. But that race in the Newmarket where Rockin' Horse and the Astrologist stayed to the inside, you guys drew inside, elected to go outside. You run on and run 6th. Was there a discussion after that in regards to maybe that was the wrong decision to go to the outside rail and from that inside gate? Because I still believe that maybe if he held to the inside fence, he probably wins that.
Yep, I fully agree. I think if he did stay to the inside, he probably, he goes very close to winning anyway. Look, it was a hard one on the day. It looked like the sort of middle was probably the place to be. I still think that day they probably went a little too wide. Thought right on the top of the crown was probably the best place, and they were just sort of off it, like not far, but a couple of lengths, and that was probably the determining factor. But it was a strange race. We got it completely wrong, and we put our hand up and said that. But that's the decision you make with the jockey before the race, and unfortunately we got it wrong on the day.
So after Ascot, do you have any other races in mind planned out for the rest of the prep, or is it just run and gun and that's it?
Look, there's the July Cup, another race the track would probably suit him. So he's penciled in to head there, but will be dictated too by how he runs on next Saturday. yeah, there's plenty of options. We could bring him back and have a crack at the Everest. Obviously, Nature Strip's going back as well. So, yeah, we're keeping all options on the table. And the July Cup's certainly right at the top at this stage.
Brad, before you go, he's got to be worth a bet, surely. He's worth a bet at that price, because if things go right for him, ability-wise, surely he's right into this up to his neck.
Yeah, Sam had a good chat to Jamie yesterday and said there's quite a lot of speed in the race, which is couldn't hear any better words come out of his mouth, to be honest with you. If he could, if there's good speed and they sort of attack each other up front, and Home Affairs adds to that with the locals. We've lucky enough we've actually been granted permission in the last 48 hours to be loaded last, which is a massive bonus. We've done it a couple of times at Balnarring and changed it round. And when it's Mark Zara, who's ridden him in all his jump outs and a lot of his, quite a few of his races, has said when he stands in there for a long time, he just loses interest, and that's what he does. He's a funny horse. He's easily distracted, and he just loses focus, and then you've got to try and get him out. So basically, he'll walk in, the gates will shut, and they'll be let go, which is awesome for us. And I'd be surprised if he's 2 or 3 lengths out the back, since we've been allowed to do that. It would be different if we weren't allowed to be loaded last, but since we've been allowed to do that, I think it's a massive advantage to him. And I think with the good speed and that tough last 12, a couple of 100 metres at Royal Ascot, I think he's well over the odds, to be honest with you.
Hey, Brad, music to my ears, because he's one of my favourites, and I've copped some fair income heat. So if he wins this, I'm going to be telling everyone to get stuffed. I can give you the red hot tip. Hey, appreciate your time this morning, mate. You're always very generous with us. Best of luck over there. Have you got, just quickly before you go, have you got something for us in the next few days for the punters, even here in Australia, for us?
If hypothetical didn't draw the outside tomorrow, Mornington should be very hard to beat. We might scratch and just follow her. She's a pretty talented filly, and I think Set to Profit is going to wanger at her on Thursday. Blinkers on, really sharpened him up. I think he can go back to winning form.
Good on you, Brad. Thanks for your time, mate. We'll chat again soon.
Cheers, guys.
Brad Taylor there, racing manager for the Freemans. Geez, Rory, I like that, being loaded last job.
Yeah,
it's going to help.
That's a big plus, especially because he's spot on when he said that when he gets loaded early, he does lose interest and he tends to flop out. So he can pick his targets if he wants to follow through the race, pick up some of that pace in behind and hopefully produce late.
He's sort of a dopey sort of a colt, isn't he? He can have a look around, lose a bit of interest. But, yeah, when he gets going, he's Usain Bolt. Hey, mate, what we have to do, we have to jump to a break. But which Aussie will be crowned King of Ascot, where you can find out on the rest of this show. Lay or back them on Betfair and gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858. Back in a minute.
1-800-858-858.
Which Aussie will be crowned King or Queen of Royal Ascot? There might be a few, thanks to Betfair, of course. Back, lay, trade, all of it available on the fair. Miles Pfitzner, Rory, Flanagan with you on your Sunday morning for a special edition. A few have timed in off the text, Rory, and you can send them in 0499 736 736. I love Artorius. His racing pattern has denied him some chances. Hope he jumps well and flies home. I'll be watching. Sampa then replied, now that I've heard that, I'm betting. Jason sent one in for a bit later. Morning, Milo. Thanks for the Belmont Quaddie. Good on your Verox. Now, we are a racing show too. Before we get to Nate just stripping the timings, just Casterton in the first. So I just want to have a little nibble here because it's Apsley Cup meeting there, Rory. My dad's president of the Apsley Cup, the Apsley Race Club. I'm having a little each way nibble on the 7 and a little saver on the 4. So each way on the 7, saver on the 4 at Casterton. Now, Rory, we're going to go straight to the King's Stand and Nature Strip. Now, can you just explain to us the timing difference for the punters with the races in there over there in England? And look, we're going to be playing them all on the fair, of course. But what happens for you? Do we need to be getting up at a certain time to then start watching the cards? How do we sort of play it to start away the Ascot Carnival?
Well, if you're like me, you just give up on sleep entirely and just spend every waking hour awake watching racing. If you're staying up, the race is at 12:40 a.m. Melbourne time. So if you just want to stay up for the Group 1s, you've got the first one at 11:30 p.m, which is the Queen Anne. The King Stand is at 12:40 a.m. and then the St James is 40 minutes after that at 1:20. So you can get those Group 1s out of the way if you're staying up for that. It's a 9-hour time difference from London to Melbourne. So just think of it, work back from 9 hours.
So that's back 9 hours. So everybody out there, 9 hours back when you're playing. Now, let's start on the King Stand, mate. And, well, he's one of the greats we've ever seen. The horse is going to be a Hall of Famer, isn't it, really? I mean, he's a genuine out-and-out superstar. You're talking just shy of $18 million in prize money. He's won 20 of 37 this son of Nakoni. Mate, Nature Strip, this is our biggest hope. The 16th of October won the Everest. Look, he's that good. How are you seeing this stack up in this race?
He's going to have plenty of practice because Eduardo's been driving him nuts for the lead for the last 3 years.
You did right.
He's going to have an extremely similar type doing the exact same thing in Golden Pal, who's just jump, run, and then paddle late when your legs give out. So as far as I'm concerned, Nature Strip's a massive winning chance. I expect him to start favourite on the day. People will have one look at him in the yard and see him tower over Golden Pal, who's just this miniature, pony-sized ball of muscle.
Yeah.
So, Nature Strip for me is one of the better bets of the week. And it's just a question of him staying nice and close to Golden Pal in the run, eyeballing him, and then just giving him windburn, see you later, giving a nice queen wave on the way past.
Yeah, I like that. We're currently $3.30 on Betfair. It's probably shortened since we spoke earlier in the week. Are you expecting that price because of being Australian and the English don't respect us, and they're about to, and we're going to teach them a lesson? But are you expecting, you're expecting him to start favourite, but do you think the money's going to come for the others and he might sort of be like a $3.80 or a $4 favourite?
No, I think Nature Strip will hold pretty rock solid. He'll probably jump $3 or just under. I think Golden Pal will drift quite a bit when a lot of people decide that they really want to take him on and lay him on Betfair, which is the only place you can put a lay bet on. And I think he's a good candidate to lay in the run. So he's going to hit the front. He's going to be going 100 miles an hour. He'll pinch maybe a couple of lengths lead, and he'll hit quite low in the run. And that's when, if you can get a lay bet on in the run, and not have as much exposure, then he's a really good candidate to make some money laying him.
Let's run through some of the others. We've Twilight Calls, Kings Lynn, Moon Niesta. Now, I've tried to have a look, so I knew what I was talking about here. But it seems to me Man of Promise is overs. Would that be fair?
Yeah, definitely. He's completely unexposed, untried at this trip. Now, he's run on rock hard decks in Dubai the last few years. He's just a bit of a lunatic, and he likes to have a look sideways a bit. So he needs to be running close to the rail. Now, if he's drawn the fence here, then I'm having a good crack at him each way. If he's drawn in the open space up the middle of the track, then he's probably not worth betting, because he needs that solid rail to keep his eye on, to keep him focused when he runs. Because if you look at his run in Dubai where he hugged the rail, he beat the winner of the G1 Al-Quoz by half the track just by hugging the rail. So that's the key for him. Outside of Golden Pal, Nature Strip, Man of Promise, I'm basically giving the rest of the field absolutely none.
Really?
Yep. Yeah,
well, that's
3-horse race for mine.
I didn't think I was going to see it that well. I was sort of thought I might have found one at overs here. All right, so that's Nature Strip. Essentially, would it be one of your better bets of the whole carnival?
If I had to put out top 5 bets, he's probably bet number 6. So I'm pretty confident, but not, extremely bullish, but still pretty confident.
That's across the whole carnival, though, so that's pretty.
35 races across the whole carnival, and he's bet rank number 6. So.
They're going to where does he go to in the best one of the best we've ever seen? Then, if he wins here, where does he go to in the ranking of Australian horses of all time? Now, we've obviously got Black Caviar and Winks. There, and then you're talking, I mean, if you want to go way back, we're talking, the Far Laps and these sort of things. But where does he go to in the ranking of the best Australian horses ever?
See, a lot of these horses that are finally remembered though, they're complete punters' pals. Whereas Nature Strip, when he's heavily backed and he's odds on or he's $2 or something like that, he tends to stink it up and get beat. So a lot of punters that have an agenda against him as being a reliable conveyance in that aspect. But if he can eclipse Redzall's prize money and keep adding a few more Group 1 wins, then he's potentially going to be remembered as one of the best sprinters we've ever had outside of Black Caviar.
Do you know I did my absolute orchestras on him one day. Do you remember when he came to Morfettville? I think it was way back, Johnny Sadler. I remember it was a Ute Clays, a Group 2 Ute Clays, and he started, I think he was sort of I think he was even money. I had a crack at him about $1.80. He jumped about $1.30 and went under. Remember Willow rode him and he was back to fence and everyone went, got into Willow, they got into the horse. He went under about $1.30, I think.
Did you get rinsed by Sunlight, was it? Or was it...
no, it was
Sam's Image or something.
I think it was I'll Have a Bit and She's So High, I think. I'm trying to find it here. But then he came back. After that, he swapped from Johnny Sadler to Darren Weir, and this is where he started to put them together. He won at Flemington. Then he went to the Creswick, won that. Then he won the Lightning, and he beat Sunlight in the Lightning. Then won the Group 2 McEwen. Then ran 8th in the Moya. And then he swapped from Weary, obviously, to Chris Waller. And really... since Chris Waller, what's he done? Rubiton Group 2. He was no good in the Oakley Plate. Won the Galaxy. Then he went on and won. Ran 4th in the Concord behind Redzell and Piarata. Came out, won the Moya. Eventually 4th in the Everest with Yes, Yes, Yes. Santa Ana Lane beat him. I mean, he's a proper freak. Jet set freak.
Yeah, I think if he keeps... I mean, he's gelding, so they're not going to retire him to stud. So he can keep chalking up a few Group 1 wins here and there.
That's what we want to see. Now, mate, on the other side of this, we're going to discuss a couple of others. The Prince of Wales, what have we got? The St James Palace, the Queen Anne, a few on the other side of the news. Don't forget, we've got SEN Sunday Survivor as well. Pick a place getter in every race. It's not up on the list where we're going today, JD. Do you know where we're going? Swan Hill, Cassidy. Do you know where it is? Survivor? Swan Hill for Survivor today. So you've got plenty of time to enter. We're going to go to the news on the other side of this, discuss a few more of the Group 1s. Plenty more to come. Which Aussie will be crowned King of Ascot? Lay or back them on Betfair. And as always, gamble responsibly. Make sure you get your pens ready. Rory Flanagan with more tips right after this.
The SEN app. Download it today and never miss a moment of your favourite show. Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.
Welcome back. I'm loving this sort of cup of tea and how do you do music leading in, Rory, for the Royal Ascot edition. It just makes me feel a little bit like not as ashamed for saying dance and chants like we do here in South Australia. Welcome back, Miles Pfitzner, Rory Flanagan, all thanks to Betfair, which Aussie will be crowned King of Ascot. Lay or back them on Betfair. Don't forget, Survivor starts in 6 minutes at Swan Hill, sensurvivor.com.au. The second at Devonport about to go. The 4 in Feddick Bell, a little bit of a nibble there after a blowout at Cassidy in the first. And we'll get a tip out for Swan Hill in about 5 minutes' time. Rory, time to get up to a few of these others. Do you want to go to the Queen Anne or those other early Group 1s around Nature Strip?
Yeah, Queen Anne's the first race that kicks everything off, so they get started with a Group 1 over there, which is nice.
Yep.
For me, that's an exacta, straight out. Baid beats Real World, and nothing else gets near the pair of them.
He's short, Baid.
Yeah, he is.
Unbelievable.
He is short, but if you look at the history of this race, odds-on favourites have a tremendous record. 5 of the last 10 have won the race. You look at Frankel 2012, Toronado 2014, Solo 2015, Ribchester 2017, Palace Pier last year, odds-on quotes. So I can't see any reason why. If you look at the replay of what he did last time out, he absolutely lapped them, and then Real World lapped the rest of the field behind him. And Real World loves Ascot. It'll improve for Ascot, and he might get a little bit closer, but I can't see anything getting anywhere near the pair of them. And Baid is basically touted as the world's best horse in waiting.
Ooh.
In waiting, he's been dubbed that by a lot of the UK presenters and media. So
they do that all the time, though.
This is his dance floor to show it.
Yeah, well, most of the SEM listeners will know Palace Pier because the ads for him standing at Darley, and you can hear that commentator, Ballas Bear, he does that, runs them out. So, well, that's it. The Queen Anne looks straightforward. What about the St James Palace, mate? We've got another one here that's reasonably short enough in, is it Soribus or Coribus?
Caribus.
Caribus, there we go. But this is the one where I thought that My Prospero, from a quick look, might have been able to actually roll this shorty.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure that My Prospero is actually going to run, because Haggis actually has Maljum from his stable as well, which won a Guineas in Germany. So he might actually send him and save My Prospero for something else later on. But Caribus, the knock on him is that he's had 4 races in his career, and they've all been at Newmarket. He's all run straight track races at Newmarket. So the St James's Palace is run around the bend. It's not run over the straight mile at Ascot. It's run around that bend first before they come into the straight, and he'll have never seen a straight before. So that's the only knock on him, and I can see a little bit of lay money coming in his direction, and he'll probably drift out a little bit in price, but he's still light years better in terms of ability than anything in this field. The horses he beat in the 2000 Guineas at Newmarket, I mean, his stablemate ran second and then went to Ireland and bolted in the Irish 2000 Guineas over there. So I can't see anything getting near him in this race. That's why Charlie Appleby's not put any of his other horses up against him, because he's fully confident. Normally you'll see Godolphin throw 2 or 3 horses into these Group 1s if they're not sure who's their top candidate, but he's put him in by his lonesome, and I can't see anything that's got the ability or the turn of foot to match him.
All right, let's go to the Prince of Wales. Is that the next one you want to look at? Prince of Wales?
So the Prince of Wales will be that's the sole Group 1 on the Wednesday. You'll have a familiar face in...
hello.
Yeah, some familiar faces in Adabe, potentially lining up if there's some sort of rain about. But State of Rest, the Cox Plate winner, he lines up in that. It's been confirmed by Joseph O'Brien that he'll be running there. He takes on Lord North, who's won the Dubai Turf. He takes on Shahryar, who won the Shima in Dubai as well. He's got Baybridge, who beat Adabe by about 7 or 8 lengths last time. Grand Glory, Group 1 winner in France. And you've got Broome for Aidan O'Brien as well. So it's a very, very strong field. I'm sort of leaning towards the Japanese horse in Shahryar. The only concern I have about him is the step down in trip from 2400 back to 2000. But if they go nice and hard, which I think having Broome in the field will set that up, then he's got to be the one that I want to be on, because Baybridge, I mean, he beat a horse that wasn't fit, and he beat Adabe on a dry track last time out. So that's not elite form to be justifying a $2.20 quote in a Group 1 against 6 Group 1 winners. So I'm happy to have a little bit on delay Baybridge and back Shahryar, and if State of Rest is still a fat price on the Betfair Exchange, close to jump at $7 or $8, then I'll have a bit of a nibble on him as well.
No, we're about to go to the Gold Cup. The first at Swan Hill's about to go. Philadelphia free off the text Jim and Kev. They're a mate's horse there. My numbers are going to be 3, 5 and 11. You can go either of those. I think the winner comes from 3, 5 and 11 there. Don't ignore Classy Kenny either, but 3, 5 and 11. Let's go to the Gold Cup, mate, on Thursday. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, I absolutely adore Stradivarius. I mean, I've been backing him for what feels like half my life now, because he's an 8-year-old now, so, and he's still an entire, so he's still got the plums intact. They haven't been made into jam. He's won this race 3 times. He's just a different animal when it's rattling fast ground. Just a completely different animal. When it's soft, his turn of foot gets blunted. He paddles around in the wet, and he turns into a bit of a sort of a pack chaser. When it's bone dry, he quickens off, and he's the only horse in the world that's capable of rattling off sub 11 second sectionals over 4,000 meters. You just don't see horses do that. And if it's nice and dry, like the forecast is predicting, I think you can get about $4.50 for him. I think he's an outstanding bet, because Trushan's been scratched on a dry track every time he's faced Stradivarius. He hasn't had the bottle to take him on. And the only other horse that has any sort of hope is Kyprios, and he's been bullying Search for a Song, who's a washed-up Irish mare, and poor old Sunchart, who's been used as a pacemaker for the last 2 years. So that's not form enough to win a Group 1, which is the proper staying test across the entire planet, which is the Ascot Gold Cup over 4,000 metres. Everything points to the horse that has done it 3 times before. It will get his conditions, gets Frankie Dettori again, as always, and his rivals have so many chinks in their armour.
Look, we're going to touch on the Commonwealth Cup of the Coronation Stakes now, and just quickly. So when we come back from the break, Rory, we can go Platinum Jubilee for the 2 Australians, and then we'll get you sort of top 5 or 6 bets for the carnival. So straight to the Commonwealth Cup quickly. Perfect Power, your favourite, $5. Twilight Jet 8, Slipstream 9.20, El Caballo 7.40, Air Raz 9.20. Wide open this. Which one you liking?
Yeah, Perfect Power is a horse that they sent to the Guineas that should never have been sent there. He's a sprinter. Maybe gets to 1,400, but he's an out-and-out sprinter. He's won here before. He's a multiple Group 1 winner. This is his race. This is the race that I had marked out for him from a couple of months ago, and he's got to be a massive chance to win this. As long as he's drawn well, there shouldn't be anything getting near him. The only thing that I can make a case for is El Caballo and Tiber Flow, who are 2 massively improving sprinters, but it's a different ball game at Group 1 level against a proper out-and-out freak of a sprinter.
All right, let's go to the Coronation Stakes quickly. $3.20 Inspiral on Betfair, $3.55 Homeless Songs, Cachet $7.80, and then your double figures are rest like Discoveries, Mangostine and Spenderella.
Yeah, this will be the race of the week for a lot of people in the UK, because you've got the English 1,000 guineas form with the winner, you've got the Irish 1,000 guineas winner, you've got the French 1,000 guineas winner, and some American Raiders. So it's all sorts of international form tying into this. The key for me is Inspiral fully fit, because she pummeled Cachet, who won the 1,000 guineas. She pummeled her by 7 lengths last prep as a 2-year-old, and then Cachet came out and won the 1,000 guineas with Prosperous Voyage in second, and both those horses were getting pumped by Inspiral last prep. If she's fully fit, she wins. Homeless Songs doesn't go a yard on a dry track, so that's why she's drifted out from $2.20 out to $3.55.
Yep.
And Mangostine, the quality of the French form for me is too closely tied to Cachet, so I think Inspiral, it will be way too good if she's fully fit.
Good to hear. Quick one off the text. Thoughts on Loose Sale in the St. James Palace? Overs at 30s and $5 worth a 1x4 bet from Sampa. It's about right?
Yeah, definitely worth a place bet. The way he ran his race in the 2,000 Guineas, where he completely blew the start, was enormous. And he also ran in the wrong part of the track. So if he runs to that level of form and he jumps, he's got a massive chance of running a place. And I think with the favourite out market, which you can get on Betfair, which there'll be a lot of liquidity because it's Royal Ascot, he's one to back in the favourite out market and the place market.
All right, on the other side of this, Platinum Jubilee, that's Home Affairs and Artorius race, and we're going to get your 5 best for the carnival. This is a Royal Ascot edition of the Sunday Betfair Edge. Your expert, Rory Flanagan, Miles Pfitzner, back right after this. And don't forget, who will be crowned King of Ascot? Lay or back them on Betfair. Gamble responsibly.
Call 1-800-858-858.
Which Aussie will be crowned king? We're about to find out. Lay or back them on Betfair. Gamble responsibly. I've just poured myself a cup of tea. I've grabbed a scone. Rory, right, now let's go straight to the Platinum Jubilee. We've got about 7 or 8 minutes. Platinum Jubilee and then your 5 best, mate. So if you're sitting at home, wherever you are, right around the country, Betfair's a place to do it, and grab your pens, pencils, crayons, form guides, be ready. Platinum Jubilee, Home Affairs $5.10 currently. Campanelle $7.60 on the fair. Sacred $10. Highland Princess $13. Nature's Strip was still in there at 11s. Creative Force $13.50, Minzal $13.50, Artorius $13s. Juicy for mine, Rory.
Yeah, I'm actually happy to back 3 horses in this because it's going to be a capacity field, and you want to make sure you've got proven track form. I think there's a stat where 6 winners have previously contested a race at Royal Ascot. So 6 of the last 10 winners have previously contested a race at Royal Ascot the year before. Yep. So that ties in Creative Force, Campanelle straight away. They both won there last year, and they're the 2 that I'm quite keen on at $7, $8, $9, $10, and then also Artorius for a bit of Aussie pride. I think if they're going nice and hard enough up front, especially with the Japanese horse engaged and a few others, Highfield Princess as well, there should be a good clip. They'll start to cut up late, and he'll have a sort of similar profile to a horse called Dream of Dreams, who just basically burst through the middle of the pack late on and was a neck second, but atoned for it later on when winning, finally getting his Group 1. So I think Artorius fits that sort of bill, picking up the pieces late on from hot speed, and Creative Force just loves the Ascot Hill, loves it. And Campanelle's obviously last year's Commonwealth Cup winner.
Alrighty, Rory, this is your time to shine. Now, if you miss any of these, you can find them. This episode will be podcasted. The tips will also go up on SEN Track and on Betfair, no doubt on the hub at the Betfair website as well. And you can also follow Rory at Rory_Flanagan on Twitter. And he's got the blue tick there because he's a real bloody deal. Now, Rory, right, give us your 5 or 6 best, mate. Well, you need them, and we need them now, and you've got about 4 minutes.
All right, I'll start from 6th to 1st. So Nature Strip, obviously, on day 1 in the King's Stand.
Yep.
Quite like him at a $3 figure. If you're taking $3, that's a good price for mine. The next one is Stradivarius in the Ascot Gold Cup. He's just the real deal, 3-time winner, and I can't really see anything getting near him. Next best after that is Emily Upjohn, if she takes her place.
Ooh.
She was a tragedy beaten in the Oaks, where she bombed the start hopelessly. John Gosden's kept her in the Ribblesdale, so if she takes her place in the Ribblesdale, they won't get near her. But if she doesn't take her place in the Haggis filly, will be the next best horse in that, which I can't quite remember the name of. Sea Silk Road, Sea Silk Road. So both of those horses, if they take their place in that, either one of them will win.
Yep.
Noble Style on day 1 in the Coventry. That horse came out and won at Ascot, and it was just electric. He's a son of Kingman, and he's built just like him. He's got an electric turn of foot. The thing that excites me most about him is that the horse that he beat into second came out and won by 7 lengths, and the horse he beat in 4th came out and won by 6 lengths. So the form is absolutely rock solid, and he's already had a crack at the track, whereas some of these other horses haven't. They've been running on flat tracks after that.
What sort of price are we getting there?
I think you can get about $4.50, $5, and
Yep.
that's like I'd be betting him down to $2.75. I think he's
Hello.
I think he is the real deal. I declared one similar a few years back. Some people might remember by the name of Pinatubo. And I think he's in a similar vein as to Pinatubo in terms of ability, just on what I've seen from their debut.
So, well, essentially your 3rd, 2nd and 1st, I'm taking it you're declaring then, if we start with Noble Styles. So your second best bet for the Carnival.
Second best bet is in Spiral. Now, just on ability and 2-year-old form, she could win this if she's 85% fit.
Yeah.
She absolutely obliterated the 2-year-old fillies division, and she just hasn't had a chance to show that. And people are knocking her based on fitness for this prep. So if she comes out and she's 85% fit, she wins, because Homeless Songs doesn't handle a dry track, and it'll be dry. And best bet for the week will be
Here we go.
Perfect Power. I love this race, and I love this price range. I think I had Golden Horde a couple of years ago. It was around the $9 mark. Campanelle last year, $8. Same sort of price this year, $5, $6 for Perfect Power. As long as he's drawn somewhere where he's either going to get cover or he's going to get the rail, they won't be beating him. And
What sort of price there?
I think he's $5 at the moment.
Oh, and that's your best bet.
Yeah, and
Like this.
he's just got a different gear when he hits a hill, when he hits rising ground. He's just got a different turn of foot to anything else in this field. There's some good sprinters. There's some smart, progressive, improving sprinters in this field, but he took a Guinea's path this year, so they've been kept out of the way of him, and I think that's why people are forgetting how good he is over a sprint distance, and that's why we're getting a price. So if he needs a draw, if he gets a good draw, I'll be doubling my bet.
Do you have a favourite to get beaten? Do you have a lay?
Yeah, so I'll talk about it on all the previews on the Betfair Hub, but where I'll actually have written previews of about 1,000 or 1,500 words every day. I actually think Golden Pal is a cracking lay. and I also think Homeless Songs is another cracking lay. Both of those, one of them, Golden Pal, he'll just stop like he's been shot at the final 50 metres, final 100 metres, and Homeless Songs just doesn't go a yard on dry. They've scratched it from dry track races.
That is the hub. Now, if you haven't been there, betfair.com.au/hub. All the previews, everything goes up on there. They're even up there for today as well. You're going to get essays written on horses there with betting strategies, back, lay and trading. Rory, you've been super, mate, coming in. Any time you want to come in and do the Sunday Betfair Edge with me, mate, more than welcome. Thanks so much for all your input and all your information. All the socials go up and they can follow you on Twitter.
Thanks, Miles.
Rory Flanagan there, your UK expert, all thanks to Betfair. Royal Ascot special it was. Betfair Edge, Royal Ascot. Well, I'll tell you right now, which Aussie will be crowned king. It looks like Nature Strip and Artorius were having a little bit of a go. All those best bets, the best bet being Perfect Power. That's all we've got time for. All thanks to Betfair. On the other side of this, though, guess who? 6-time Group 1 winner, superstar, skipper, comes in for a big day. Swan Hill Cup. Absolute Cup at Cassidy Racing, Hawkesbury, Sapphire Coast, Kalgoorlie, Sunshine Coast, Devonport, and guess what? We're even at Port Augusta on the dirt.